Hello, may I speak with Jordan? I blinked, confused. Who? Jordan, last name? This is Capital First Collections. I cut them off, already feeling my stomach knot. I'm not Jordan. Don't call this number again. And I hung up. That was call number 1. Call number 10. I wasn't just annoyed, I was furious, because my ex-roommate, someone I had once tried to help, fed, housed, trusted, had decided that their big act of revenge was giving my phone number to all of their creditors. Before I get deep into this one, because trust me, it gets personal, go ahead and hit that like button if you've ever had to deal with someone dumping their mess on your life. Drop a comment if you would have handled this differently, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, petty, painful, and sometimes hilariously satisfying. Now let me tell you exactly how this ridiculous drama started. It all started with what I thought was a simple act of kindness. I had a spare room. My roommate at the time, let's call him Jordan, was someone I'd known since college. We weren't best friends, but we vibed well enough. He needed a place. Said he was between jobs, just needed a few months to get on his feet, and me? I've always believed in helping people when I can. I grew up with very little. I know what it's like to feel like no one's got your back. So I let him move in.no. Lease. No security deposit. Just a handshake and some good faith. Big mistake. The first month, I let rent slide. Jordan hadn't found work yet. He was looking, he said. Spent a lot of time gaming, smoking weed, staying up late watching Twitch streams. You know, research. I raised an eyebrow but kept quiet. I'm not his parent. I figured. Stress manifests differently for people. Month 2, I asked him to chip in something, utilities, groceries, anything. He gave me a 20. I didn't ask where it came from. I probably should have. By month 3, the vibe in the house had soured. I'd come home from work to see dishes stacked like a game of Jenga in the sink. Trash overflowing. My groceries gone. He had friends over constantly. Music blaring. My quiet, peaceful home was turning into a dorm room from hell. So finally, I sat him down, tried to be calm, fair, honest. Hey man, I need you to start paying rent. Even just part of it. This isn't sustainable. And I swear to you, he looked me dead in the eye and said, you knew I was broke when I moved in. You can't just change the terms now. As if I was some slumlord raising the rent mid-lease. I reminded him, again, that we never had a formal agreement. That I'd helped him out of the kindness of my heart. That if he couldn't contribute, he at least needed to clean up after himself and stop inviting people over without asking. And that's when it shifted. Jordan stood up, red-faced. Voice getting louder, accusing me of being controlling. Of trying to lord money over him. Of acting like I was better than him just because I had a job and a car and could pay rent. It was like flipping a switch. The next morning, he was gone. Didn't tell me. Didn't leave a note, took his clothes, his laptop, his gaming console, and disappeared. He even left the mess, dishes still in the sink. Trash still stinks up the hallway. A half-eaten bag of Doritos and a moldy pizza crust on the floor. I should have changed my locks that night. The silence was a relief at first. I cleaned the apartment. Took a deep breath. Peace returned, but then, the phone rang. I remember the first call so clearly because it just seemed like a wrong number. Hi, may I speak with Jordan, last name? I furrowed my brow. He doesn't live here anymore. Do you know where we can reach him? This is concerning a financial matter. I hung up. I didn't think much of it. Then 2 days later, another call, same script. A new company, and then another and another, until I was getting multiple calls a week, sometimes multiple a day, all looking for him. Capital One, Chase, Discover, even some company I'd never heard of, Speedy Cash 247, or some shady sounding nonsense. It didn't take long to piece it together. Jordan, in his infinite wisdom, had defaulted on so many lines of credit, burned so many lenders, and when he ran out of excuses, he gave them my phone number. I imagine it went something like this. Oh yeah, I don't have my number anymore, but here's my new one. And gave them mine, like I was his secretary. Or maybe his fault. GUI.at first. I was just confused, then angry, but then, weirdly enough, I started to laugh, because this wasn't just petty. It was pathetic that he thought this was revenge, he thought this would bother me. I mean, sure, the calls were annoying. But I know how to block a number. I know how to file a do not call report, and most importantly, I know this isn't my debt. So after a while, I started having fun with it. The next time a collections agent called, I didn't hang up. Instead, I calmly said, I have zero intention of paying this debt. The silence on the other end was beautiful. They tried to argue, of course, but you are listed as the primary contact for Mr. Jordan. I interrupted, that's not my debt. I have zero intention of paying for it. You may have to sue to get that money. And then click, hung up. I started repeating this every single time. Some of them got mad. Some got confused. Some asked if I was Jordan pretending not to be Jordan. I once told a particularly aggressive caller, you know what? If you can find him, tell him thanks for the free entertainment. This is better than Netflix. I started writing down the names of the companies that called. Just out of curiosity, after a week, I had a list. 12 different companies. 12 different debts. This guy wasn't just broke, he was financially radioactive. One night, I was feeling particularly petty, so I called one of the companies back. Yep. I called them, hey, I got a call earlier looking for Jordan. Just wanted to let you know, you're not gonna get your money. But you're welcome to keep trying. Then I gave them the address of our old apartment, just to watch the world burn a little. The calls started slowing down. Eventually either they figured out I wasn't him, or they passed the debts off to other agencies. But the final cherry on top, a few weeks ago, I got a letter in the mail addressed to Jordan, last name, care of, my address, inside, a notice of intent to pursue legal action for unpaid debt. But this one wasn't from a collections agency. It was from a law firm. I called the number, spoke to the receptionist, explained the situation. She sounded tired. Oh, another one. Okay. We'll mark this number as invalid. I paused. Then said, you know, he gave you this number on purpose. As revenge. She snorted. That's a new one. Usually, they just ghost us. And we both laughed, because at the end of the day, Jordan didn't get revenge. He just revealed how deep in it he really was. Looking back, I realized there were signs, the excuses, the freeloading, the guilt trips disguised as arguments. Jordan didn't want help. He wanted rescue, without responsibility. And when I stopped enabling him, he lashed out in the only way he could, by trying to make his mess my problem. But here's the thing about people like that. They don't realize that boundaries aren't cruel. They're surviving. I didn't know Jordan anything, not rent. No pity. Not a phone line to dump his debts into, and I sure as hell don't owe his creditors a single cent. So to anyone out there struggling to say no to a toxic friend, to a leech of a roommate, to someone who guilt trips their way into your life, hear this, you're allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to say, I have zero intention of paying this debt. If you've ever had a roommate horror story, I need to hear about it in the comments. Misery loves company, right? Hit that like button if you enjoyed this little slice of petty justice, and don't forget to subscribe for more real stories, wild revenge, and emotional roller coasters. And hey, if someone ever gives your number to their creditors, have fun with it. Until next time.